Peace. Conscience one. And I just want to go on a little rant about Trump and how black people are is clearly overreacting about him becoming president. So let me start off by saying I do not vote. Um, I do not believe the president election is effective for any Aboriginal or Indigenous North American Negro unless it's a real person who's going to go there and get straight down to the point. All right. I think our problem is fuck all that, them grants, and fuck all them loans and housing and all that. They need to just get together, give us a reparation package, and we can do our own contractors and start our own shit. We don't need none of that. If you're gonna go to him asking for him for that, you might as well just get right back right to the fucking point. Well, fuck it. We don't even want nothing from you. You give us the fucking reparation that you really owe us, and we can do for ourselves. We don't need nothing else. Them the only conversations that I want to hear black people having with Trump. All right. So, like I said, I don't vote because I know that this country is predominantly Aborigine copper colored people from the tips of of what we call Canada to what we call Argentina and the conjoining islands. I know that they'll put the majority of people that's living in this country or continent called the Americas is at least 80% black. The European influence is very small, but this is not what you're being told. And anytime you get a European president, the head of a predominantly copper color, or basically a whole nother ethnicity. They're not the same ethnicity. He's a European. The people here is copper color. What we were referred to as African American. So we should never have no white presidents or no European president. So I'm not in favor of none of them. With that being said, I think, like I said, black people is going overboard with this Donald Trump shit, saying how much they hate him and what he said about people. I mean, listen, I, I didn't really take offense to nothing he said about black people because he really didn't say nothing wrong. He said, what you got to lose by voting for him, which he's right. What the fuck you got to lose? You didn't get nothing from Obama. You got nothing from George Bush. You got nothing from Bill Clinton except them locking your family members up and creating more laws to lock more people up for more nonviolent offenses. Him and his fucking devil ass wife. So what do you want? Now let's look at this from a perspective. All right, I'm gonna put the two presidential candidates out there. We got Hillary Clinton, what AKA Hillary Clinton, and we got Donald Trump. Okay, now look, I don't know what Donald Trump past is or whatever. They say little shit. Yeah, he was with Epstein or whatever with the porn shit with the children on the island or whatever. That they saying that's one thing. They saying that him with the rape charges and all that. But look, let's look at the other offenders. Bill Clinton got more than 10 rape charges that they ain't gonna never put out there because a lot of you motherfuckers don't even know Bill Clinton is Queen Elizabeth's nephew. So they can block anything. That's why he get a pass on so much stuff. Okay, him and his wife. His wife said Morgan Sagan was she is the one who created Planned Parenthood. She is the one who said black people like weeds. We must destroy them. We must destroy them before they grow. She also confided and said that her one of her mentors was the Grand Wizard of I guess the KKK, which he held some predominant some high ranking he was a high ranking official in the government or whatever, and this was her mentor along with all the other scandals. Now as far as we see Donald Trump, we could say Donald Trump is some rich um white boy brat. We can go on and on days and days, but I don't have no evidence of him going to no countries and killing nobody. I don't have no evidence of him calling people straight out niggas and saying I hate you black people or whatever. I don't have no evidence of that. I don't have no evidence of him doing anything more him being no more of a white person than anybody else with money. Okay, so let's look at this. So all these black actors and celebrities, well, their celebrities are saying that they wasn't going to go to the inauguration. They didn't support Trump, but you did have a lot of black people who did support him go to the inauguration. Okay, then you also got a lot of black people who like mad. But listen, what choice did we really have? Y'all really wanted to vote Hillary Clinton in after all the shit she said about black people directly? This man haven't really said nothing that I heard of, and I watch the news, and I'm on the internet. I watch the news. I'm in conspiracy theory. I mean, circles. I'm in all that shit. You understand? We know. I'm not saying he's 100% solid. Ain't none of these crackers 100% solid. But I don't put my faith in none of these European presidents to begin with. See, that's the thing. I don't put my faith in none of them. I would have went just on GP. You understand? But I'm saying like this, I don't deal with none of that, so it's no reason for me to even go there. I don't care about none of these Europeans that's running it. But what I'm saying is, from what I've seen Donald Trump since the '80s, and I never really heard him saying or being really caught up in. He deal with women, so what? These other presidents deal with little boys. They pedophilias. They pedophile. So you. Well, like I said, there's allegations among certain conspiracy theories that he was on the island with Epstein, which was a pedophilia island. Okay, but nonetheless, though, most of his allegations that's out there in the major news is dealing with women and dealing with that type of stuff. Bill Clinton got 10 rape charges that is not being reported. Okay, Hillary Clinton. We don't. You can go. You just go on the internet and just look at her. Was it you? You guys believe this shit or you don't believe it? Everything that they saying cannot be a fucking lie. There's too much evidence about murders and all these other things that the Clintons are involved in. Okay, so you was willing to put them in. And the sad part about it is that if black people, if Hillary Clinton would have won, none of these people would have been talking about this. They would have been cooning. None of them would have. But well, we want to give her another chance or whatever. And that's the problem. We always giving these people who then fucked us and who basically still we are still being affected by the Clinton policies. We still being affected. Bill Clinton was out of the White House when in 2001, I believe, or 2001, 2002, whatever. Fuck it. With 2000. He was out in 2000 or whatever, and we still being affected by the Clinton policy since then. It's 17 years later. The drug reform, the prison reform, welfare reform. Well, I ain't gonna say welfare effect. That's because more white people on welfare than anybody. But nonetheless, it is a lot of people who needed that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big advocate of it, but if there's no jobs available, somebody need to do something. You understand? But yeah, man, that's all I got on this, man. Like, black people, y'all overreacting. The fact that Donald Trump getting in there, you're only overreacting because he talked about these immigrants and all these immigrants is running scared. Like I said, a lot of these immigrants wasn't in this country when they was hanging us and all this horrific shit. Now all of a sudden they scared and they want you to feel the same way that they feel. Nah, We already went through our hard. We already went through the shit we went in this country. You came here, you signed paperwork to come here, and now all of a sudden you scared. So I listen. He can say I don't care what he said about immigrants. Everything he's saying is true, and he's also an immigrant. And he need to talk about some of the Europeans, yes. He need to talk about deporting some of them as well. But nonetheless, though, he's an immigrant. And let's start with the major problem. The major problem was he let all these Hispanic, Latinos, and all these other people into this country. So if he want to stop that, I'm well okay with that. So with that being said, black people stop overreacting because Donald Trump ain't no worse than any of these other Europeans. Okay, I'm the Thompson. This one. I'm out. Peace.